tonight's big stories. The government launched a super app developed by the DICT that is meant to be a one-stop shop for various government transactions. What features and services can we expect from this app?
The Climate Change Commission is calling on industries operating in Laguna Lake to properly dispose of their industrial waste, which often ends up in or affects the lake's ecosystem. This is after a study found a high concentration of microplastics in Laguna de Bay. Why should you be worried about this? We'll tell you later.
And it's not just the DICT. The health department has also come up with a mobile app, this one for tracking menstrual health. We'll take a look at some of its features later on in the broadcast. Welcome to the show. I'm Sean Yao.
I'm Chicky Verhel. The big story tonight.
All right, the big story tonight for once is not the Maharlika bill or a typhoon. It's the government launching its eGov super app today, Chicky. This promises to be a one-stop shop platform that will streamline all processes for both the national and local government services. Exciting ba for you?
Sounds good, sounds good.
In theory.
Okay siya in theory, ha? Okay rin yung goal niya. I'm just thinking, siguro for this to be successful, kailangan we have to have very good and reliable interconnectivity. Yung tipong parang sa South Korea na nasa daan ka lang in public and sagap agad yung super lakas ng internet.
Yan, pero exciting siya. I agree with you kasi we're on the right track here to at least go digital with our government services for accessibility. So yung sunod na lang nga dyan is free Wi-Fi for all.
Yun na lang. Pero Sean and guys, those of you who are watching, President Marcos actually led today's launch of this super app. The president hopes that the adoption of this technology will lessen corruption that are usually committed in face-to-face transactions. Marcos also hopes that the newly launched app will help rid the government of fixers. These are individuals who offer to expedite the processing of public documents in exchange for money despite not being officially involved in government operations.
For the entire process, wala kang kausap na tao. There is no discretion being exercised by anyone. Eh, kung di mo ako lagyan, hindi ko ipapaano ito. Hindi ko pa iipiting ko ito. Yung mga ganun. O kausapin mo yung si ganto ganyan, siya mag-aayos, yung fixer niya. Wala na yan. Mawawala na yan. And we owe that to the people.
Mawawala ng racket ang mga fixer niyan. What exactly is this super app for, Sean? Well, here's what we know. The app is described as an all-in-one solution for streamlined access to national and local government services. In the home screen, you'll find various options that will lead you to certain government services. The super app offers certain national government services under agencies like the Anti-Red Tape Authority, DFA, SSS, Pag-ibig, and the LTO, among many others. Offered services include the application for NBI clearance, enrollment for Pag-ibig's MP2 savings, or checking your PhilHealth record and premium contributions. Upon clicking the chosen agency, the user will be redirected to the online platform of that agency. The app can also store certain government IDs like your passport, PRC, ID, and national ID. You may also use the app to store a digital version of your driver's license, a move that could temporarily address the shortage in plastic cards. And aside from those, the super app also allows users to access services offered by their local government units.
So exactly how can Filipinos access this app, and are all basic government services available on this platform? Let's find out from mobile journalist Julie Baiza. Julie, kaya ba?
Sean, Filipinos may start downloading the eGov super app on their phones, after which they will be asked to register their accounts and verify their identity. For now, not all government agencies have been integrated in the app, but the DICT promises that they are slowly expanding the services available. Now, aside from fighting corruption, President Marcos hopes that this super app will help the country become more competitive in terms of digitalization. Sean?
Thank you for that, Julie Baiza. Right, sabi mo nga, mawawala ng racket yung mga fixer. Usually, malungkot tayo pag mawawala ng trabaho yung mga tao. But pagdating sa fixer, syempre mixed reviews yan, di ba? So, iwas corruption nga daw, easier transactions. But again, a lot of questions still abound. Data privacy, yung online payment platform din. Syempre, kailangan mo bayaran, no? Itong mga some of the mga processing fee and what have you. Paano kaya? Kasi naalala ko, nakausap natin si DICT Secretary Ivan Uy.
Yes.
That was during the soft launch or beta testing of this app.
Actually, again, this is okay in theory, and I hope talaga magiging successful ito. Kasi I was speaking to one of our anchors here earlier, tapos sabi niya, minsan kasi yung mga ganito, when you go through like the online service, apply online, parang mas mabilis pa ata if you go like physically go to the agency itself.
Right.
Kasi,
like lalo na kung nag-hang siya bigla.
Yun.
Tapos parang magpapanik ka, like anong, di ba, mas masarap may kausap ka na magsasabi sa'yo, hindi, relax ka lang ma'am, ganyan.
That's right.
Nag-hang lang yung server. Ito
Oo.
parang, nag-hang ba yung server? Phone ko ba yun? Internet ko, di ba? So, titignan natin. Bigyan natin ng chance tong super app. In any case, it is a step in the right direction.
That's true.
It does now feel like we're in 2023.
Yeah, I'm all for it, Sean. But the regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership or RCEP, iba namang topic tayo has finally entered into force in the Philippines 2 years since participating countries concluded the free trade deal back in 2020. The RCEP is the world's largest free trade bloc. 11 countries in the ASEAN, now including the Philippines, are members of the RCEP. It also includes 5 free trade partners: Australia, China, New Zealand, Japan, and South Korea. The RCEP allows an increased and more relaxed trade between member states. That's through the lowering or elimination of tax or tariffs in exported products, except for rice, sugar, onions, and some kinds of vegetables and meat. Products that are tariff-free under RCEP include cloth, alcohol, coconut juice, coffee, some fruits, and chocolate. Ratification of the RCEP was delayed because of safeguard concerns, particularly in the agriculture sector.
So exactly that, Chicky. How is the government planning to protect local producers as the Philippines' membership in the RCEP takes effect? Let's get the details from Marian Enriquez. Marian, what do you have?
Yes, Sean, the Trade Department assures that there are enough safeguards to protect local producers in the event that industries become flooded with imported products. These safeguard measures will be implemented under the so-called import surge monitoring system. If there will be threats to the local industry, the DTI will keep stakeholders in check to monitor the trend of imports of certain products. Should there be a flooding of imports, local producers may file a petition for the DTI to act on the matter. Sean.
Thanks for that, Man Enriquez. Joining us tonight to tell us exactly what we can expect now that our membership in the RCEP has finally taken effect, we have with us on the show Trade Secretary Alfredo Pasqual. Welcome to the Big Story, Secretary. Of course, one of the biggest concerns, yes, Secretary. One of the biggest concerns is, of course, the agricultural sector, about how a deluge of imports will affect local prices and, of course, the security of local farmers. What can you say about that, Sec?
Well, you have already mentioned that under RCEP, sensitive agricultural products such as rice, wine meat, sugar, etc., are excluded from the tariff commitment for the lowering of tariff. In fact, for RCEP, more agricultural tariff lines were excluded from tariff commitments compared to what we already have, the ASEAN Trade in Goods Agreement under our Association of Southeast Asian Nations. So, in that sense, our farmers that are tilling rice lands, corn lands, and raising hogs will not be meeting competition, open competition with imports of the products they produce, because the protective tariffs that these agricultural commodities enjoy will stay.
Yes, Sec. So I understand that we're not really too worried about the local farmers, no? Kasi nga may protection against may protection yung mga rice farmers, mga corn farmers. But I'm just wondering, kasi syempre this is heavily dependent on yung supply chain management, yung inventory. Usually nagkakaproblema nga po tayo doon, 'di ba? Especially in the agriculture sector. Na remember the whole sugar fiasco, 'di ba? Some say, oh, may shortage tayo. Some say, wala naman tayong shortage. shortage. Are we ready for this? Kayang-kaya na ba ng i-handle yung supply chain
Well,
management at inventory?
At the start of the program, you were talking about digitalization that's being implemented by the government. We hope to be able to extend the digitalization process to the monitoring of supply and demand of agricultural commodities, particularly those food items that are staple for Filipino families.
All right, Secretary Pasqual, another safeguard that you have put in place, this was, I believe, developed by your department, this mechanism called the unwarranted import surge. Can you tell us more about this? Is this an app? Is this some sort of...
we have launched what we call an import surge monitoring system. It's computer-driven or digitally driven, and we're going to apply AI analysis as well. The movement of goods into the country will be monitored. Selected commodities first, mainly those that are susceptible to the surge of imports. And if there is an abnormal rise or surge in import of certain goods, we will apply the safeguards available under RCEP and or WTO. For example, should there be an instance of an increased import that will threaten the local industry, trade remedies under WTO agreements can still be availed of. In addition, there are also RCEP safeguards to address the said surge. What are the safeguards? There is the safeguard measure. RCEP safeguard measure provides for the mechanism that parties can use to address injury or threat of injury to a domestic industry through suspension or further reduction of customs duties or tariff, or increase in customs duties, yung safeguard tariff, following a surge in imports.
Right, Secretary,
There is
just a
also
quick...
the anti-dumping and countervailing measures. This remedy reaffirms the parties' rights under relevant WTO rules. It features the provision that will promote the goals of transparency and due process in trade remedy.
All right, Secretary Pasqual, just a very quick dovetail into that, what you have said so far. We understand this mechanism that you imposed. It's created by the Department of Trade and Industry, but when we talk about imports, when we talk about agriculture products, we also involve a lot of other agencies such as the Bureau of Customs. We now have, of course, a lot of issues on agricultural smuggling. How can we have safeguards against that within this system that you have put in place? Are you working with the
Our system
BOC?
is linked with the data of the Bureau of Customs. We have to collaborate with them to make the system work effectively and efficiently. Now, with regard to smuggling, again, what government is thinking of is a digital approach to tracking goods that are entering the country. Smuggling happens because there is no transparency in handling of goods entering the country. So if the goods are already pre-recorded when they leave the source and they get here, they will be known to everyone that are monitoring the entry of goods to the Philippines. And normally the smuggling that's happening is what we call technical smuggling. Of course, there are also those physical smuggling that happen. But I think most of the smuggling that's happening in our midst is done through the lack of transparency in their entry through customs.
Yes, Sec, para lang people will understand, no, what exactly are the short-term benefits of RCEP and also what are the long-term benefits?
Well, short-term benefits, we see 4 sectors that will gain or achieve notable improvement in exports. These are electronic equipment, machinery equipment on the non-agricultural side. And then there is in agriculture, vegetable, fruits and nuts, and food, processed foods. These are the early beneficiaries of RCEP. We've seen this in the experience of Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, which joined RCEP a year ahead, more than a year ahead of us. And then in the long run, there will be further gains in the sectors I mentioned, plus we see benefits also that will happen in the construction industry, given that we expect the inflow of foreign investments and increase in economic activities due to RCEP. This, we believe, will also positively affect transportation, and that means logistics and the manufacturing sectors as well, because we expect foreign investors to locate their manufacturing facilities here, especially those coming from outside the RCEP region, so that they can access the countries which are members of RCEP.
There you have
But
it.
there are also benefits to garments industry, not so much, well, partly because of tariff, but also because of improvement in the rules regarding rules on origin for garments makers. Before, for Philippine garments makers to avail of the reduced tariff, say, for garments in Japan, they will have to meet a minimum of 40% local content. Now, under RCEP, and given the fact that we don't produce textile, our garments producers here can import the textile from other RCEP countries
Ayun.
and just provide the labor here, which will probably
Right.
just 10% of the value of the goods, and they'll be able to export their garments to Japan.
We
at zero
definitely
tariff.
learned a lot about RCEP from DTI Secretary Alfredo Pasqual. Thank you very much for shedding light on this subject. Up next, guys, climate change experts are flagging high amounts of microplastics at the Laguna de Bay. They say it's also possible that we are already consuming some of them. The details when the big story returns.
You're still watching the big story here on One News. Okay, Chiki, ano pa nga bang meron?
Oo. Diyos ko, medyo nakakabahalang news, no, Sean? According to the Climate Change Commission, there's a possibility that we are already consuming microplastics.
I don't think this is a possibility. Remember, just a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
the DOST actually warned us that microplastics are in the air. So they're definitely like at least somewhere in our body. Maybe
Right.
not in our digestive system, but maybe in our lungs. So now you're telling me that we could possibly be ingesting this
Yes.
as well. All right, so actually, I don't know why natatawa ako ng slide kasi hindi talaga siya nakakatawa.
Oo.
Microplastics, of course, are the
Sobrang
super
liit.
basic components of all plastic products that we use. These are really, really tiny particles. We
Yes.
cannot see them. There's even nanoplastics, which are can penetrate into your fetuses, into your bloodstream. Very disturbing news. And I think what makes it so scary, like the scariest thing, when you don't know the impact on the human body or the human
Exactly.
health. And we don't know as of now what the long-term effect will be. So we actually found out about this, Chiki, in an interview with 1PH's One Balita Pilipinas. Climate Change Commissioner Albert de la Cruz Sr. noted that there is a high concentration of microplastics found in the Laguna de Bay. De la Cruz also warned that it might not just be in the Laguna de Bay, but in other rivers in highly urbanized cities in the country. And that's why he called on LGUs to enforce environmental laws to prevent rivers and lakes from being contaminated by microplastics.
Kailangan po talaga gumawa ng agarang aksyon, hindi lang ang gobyerno, kundi ang private sector. At kailangan magkaroon ng thorough inspection. Lahat ba ng mga industry na nakapaikot sa Laguna ay mayroong sewerage treatment plant. At the same time, yung mga LGU natin, kailangan ipatupad ng maigi yung mga environmental laws natin.
Chicky, it's not just microplastics that
you
we
have more
could be
bad
eating.
news.
Yeah. Sorry. I know it's a Friday, but on to another pressing matter. The other pandemic, as I'd like to call it, ASF, or the African swine fever. So, ang lala talaga ng ASF. I mean, we were so concerned with COVID, na medyo na-downplay si ASF, but actually, 15 provinces in the Philippines still have active ASF cases, and I think millions and millions of hogs have already been killed or culled as a result.
Are you gonna give me some good news though?
There is some
Oh,
good
meron.
news.
May pambawi.
The Bureau of Animal Industry, or the BAI, has recommended to the FDA, or Food and Drug Administration, this Vietnam-manufactured AVAC vaccine against ASF. In a press conference, BAI Assistant Director Dr. Arlene Vitiaco said that they have submitted their letter of recommendation for approval of the FDA after proving its safety and efficacy in clinical trials conducted in 6 farms across Luzon. The BAI said that clinical trials showed an increased level of antibodies against ASF in all of the samples used in the trial. Now, once approved, the BAI will be importing at least 600,000 doses from the vaccine manufacturer in Vietnam. Here's the but, Chicky. Vitiaco said they have yet to determine the price of each vaccine dose from the manufacturer.
As far as the FDA is concerned, wala po tayong naka-allocate for vaccine. But ang mga commercial farms naman are very much willing, I suppose. We will have to make a proposal. Unti-unti nang tataas dapat yung population natin ng baboy kasi mababawasan na yung mortalities natin because of ASF.
Okay, some of you are probably asking, once approved by the FDA, how soon can we expect the rollout of the ASF vaccines? Okay, Shyla Francisco is going to give us some updates. Shyla, what do you have for us?
Chicky, the guidelines for the rollout of the vaccine will be released once the FDA issues a certificate of product registration. BAI Assistant Director Dr. Arlene Vitiaco said it will not be mandatory, though they will encourage hog raisers to avail of it once it becomes commercially available. Pricing details have yet to be released, but the Agriculture Department assures hog farmers that they will try to make it as accessible and affordable even to small backyard raisers. For its part, the FDA said it has received the application and they plan on evaluating on the vaccine's efficacy soon. Chicky?
Thanks for that report, Shyla Francisco. The ongoing heat might just get worse. O, kala mo, ikaw na may bad news, ha?
Competition ba to?
Oh, batuhan ng bad news. And water interruptions could soon be experienced in Metro Manila as the allocation from Angat Dam is seen to decrease by mid-June. The National Water Resources Board has approved a lower water allocation from Angat Dam from 52 cubic meters per second from June 1 to June 15 to 50 CMS from June 16 all the way to June 30. The Metropolitan Water Works and Sewerage System said Maynilad customers may be affected. For its part, Maynilad said they will use their water treatment plant in Cavite to provide additional supply and fix all faulty water pipelines. Although the company is confident that it will be enough to cover the reduction, it noted that service interruptions may still depend on the demand.
For the consumers, magkakaroon po ng interruptions, especially during night time. Dapat may implement po yung mga new mitigating measures. Hopefully, maayos po natin at hindi po na magkakaroon ng interruption.
Yung walang interruption na forecast namin is based on the current information that we have. Maaaring merong mga instances in the next few weeks na mangyari na beyond our control. Sudden increase ng demand sa ating mga customers, posibleng maapektuhan yung mga in-place mitigating measures namin.
Ito, Chicky, hindi ko alam kung considered good news ba to or bad news or just news. But here's something that could help. Pag-asa officially declaring the start of the rainy season.
That's right.
Widespread rains from Typhoon Betty as well as the southwest monsoon fell across northern Luzon and the western section of the Visayas in the past days. So from here on, Pag-asa now expects more frequent rains and tropical cyclones to enter the country. Monsoon rains are currently affecting Occidental Mindoro, Antique, and the northern section of Palawan. Scattered rains are also expected in Metro Manila and the rest of the country due to localized thunderstorms. Well, here's the good news. It is the weekend.
Yes,
so
good news.
after this break, we'll be checking out the DOH's new online period tracker app, which aims to help provide young Filipino girls with accurate information about their menstrual health. Why not, right? Keep it here on The Big Story.
You guys are still watching The Big Story here in One News. What else do we have tonight, Sean?
Eto, something for the girls naman.
Sige nga. What is
The
it?
Health Department launched its own app. Ayaw magpatalo sa eGov Super App. But itong app na to is for tracking periods cycles. The DOH's OK Period Tracker seeks to help Filipinas, mostly young girls, to keep track of their menstrual health. The department took over 1 year to develop this app with the help of the DepEd, the POPCOM, or the Commission on Population, and UNICEF. This app is available on Google Play and the App Store.
So yung halaga niya, it provides them the right information first. Second, the app is also accessible even to boys, no? So boys can also have their misconceptions about it corrected. And you know that the information that is being provided ay tama.
So what other features can we expect from this app? We have mobile journalist Yeda Pasqual to help us out. Yeda, na-try mo na ba itong OK app? Pati yung pronunciation.
Yes, Chiki, it has the usual features like calendar for tracking your period and predictions for your next cycle. Another good thing is that it can also accommodate those with irregular periods. Perfect din ito for parents who want to teach their girls about menstruation and reproductive health. Users can also personalize their accounts. So really, it's a cute and fun way to introduce menstruation to young girls. It also has information on other things like nutrition and family planning. So useful din siya for adults like us. Chiki?
Thank you very much. That's Yeda Pasqual.
How do you track your period, Chiki? Are you super regular or do you count? You're super regular.
Yeah,
Ako
super regular.
Medyo kasing baliw ko yung cycle ko. So, I do use a period tracker app. So now, I might just have to download this since it's available on the App Store. So I can have it on my phone and maybe give it a shot. But actually, this one, it's targeting young Filipinas. So I don't think I fall into that demographic
Grabe ka
anymore.
naman. You're talking like you're 60 years old.
Hindi pa naman. Pwede pa naman tayo gumamit ito, di ba? Pero I think the Department of Health is aiming for people to apart from just get control over their periods, but it can also have other positives, like you can detect early reproductive health conditions, like when you're irregular, when you have heavy flows, it could be endometriosis or PCOS and so on and so forth.
Oo, family planning daw, di ba? Actually, Yeda mentioned this kanina. Family planning, pwede mo, well, obviously, no? Getting pregnant, of course, depends on your cycle. So, family planning So, from family planning, ito naman, family na ginawang reality ang plano nilang dream home. Meet content creators Nomer and Marian, the vloggers behind the channel Wonder Family. The channel now has over 38,000 subscribers on YouTube and over 1 million followers on Facebook. The couple started out with charity vlogs and soon grew big with their prank videos. After a few years of releasing content, the Wonder Family was able to save enough for a new home. Really? Tingnan nyo.
Hanggang wala kaming nasasaktan o inaapakang tao, tuloy lang kami para sa pangarap kasi alam namin hindi lang kami yung magbe-benefit kundi buong pamilya namin tsaka mga taong nakapaligid po sa amin.
Diba? The Filipino dream. Ang saya na nagawa nila to through a YouTube channel. Chiki, magbubukas na rin ako ng sarili kong channel. Please subscribe. Na biro lang. Hindi ko na yata kaya yon. Pero ito, malapit na tayo maubusan ng oras. Here's a little sweet something to cap off the work week. Our big picture for tonight, our Pinoy merienda favorites. Gugutumin kayo dito.
Perfect.
Our very own Halo Halo and Sorbetes, making it to Taste Atlas's 50 Best Frozen Desserts. Now, Sorbetes, commonly known here as our dirty ice cream, or if you ask my mom, 5 Gis, ranked 5th, while Halo Halo came in at the 43rd spot. Mas mataas yung posisyon ni Sorbetes kaysa kay Halo Halo. So, interesting about our photos, we see Japanese soldiers there, yung black and white na pictures.
Yeah, what's that?
They're cooling off back in the 40s through Mamang Sorbetero. Nakita mo yung parang box, yun yung karitela ng Mamang Sorbetero. O, diba? Did you know also, chicks, that our beloved Halo Halo has its roots with the Japanese dessert kakigori.
Kakigori, okay.
Siyempre,
I didn't know that.
It's a crushed ice. Tapos usually, di ba minimalist yung mga Japanese? So, usually ano lang yan, matcha and beans, gano'n. Or minsan mangga, ganyan. Tapos may syrup and gatas. Dito, Pinoy tayo eh. So, lahat nandun.
Lahat kasama. Parang pag sa airport, di ba? Pag naghahatid ng relative sa airport, buong barangay kasama.
Correct. Ngayon, kung nagtataka kayo ano yung number 1, it's Iran's Bastani Sonati. This is a saffron-infused ice cream, which was hailed as the top frozen dessert, which unfortunately I have not tasted.
Neither have I.
We'd love to know your thoughts and reactions about this. Our comment section remains open as always. And that's it for the show tonight. We are One News, all sides, all the time.
Thank you. Good night. Happy weekend, guys.